architects. Welcome to the very first episode of entArch, where we peel back the curtain on the systems and structures that keep large organizations from collapsing like a Jenga tower during an earthquake. I'm Raheem Kareem, and today we're starting with a big question. What the heck is enterprise architecture, and why should anyone care? Because here's the truth. Every growing organization eventually hits that moment where the technology looks like spaghetti, the data looks like soup, and the processes look like, well, nobody's quite sure. That's where enterprise architecture comes in. We bring order to the chaos. Enterprise architecture, or EA, is basically the discipline of designing an organization the same way an architect would design a city. Not a house, a city. Highways, buildings, utilities, power grids. Except instead of roads and bridges, we're dealing with data flows, business capabilities, applications, integrations, and infrastructure. We use frameworks to help us not lose our minds. The Zachman Framework. This is like a big architectural filing cabinet. Rows and columns telling you what perspective you're looking at. Business owner, analyst, engineer. Zachman has a box for you. It doesn't tell you how to build architecture, but it gives you a clear way to organize the mess. The Open Group Architecture Framework. This one is the process, it's the how. The Architecture Development Method, or ADM, cycle walks you through creating architectures in phases so you don't jump from idea to deployment in the same meeting. Because we all know, that meeting is just somewhere. The Enterprise 6x6 Matrix. This is our star player in this series. The 6x6 breaks architecture into layers, but we're only focusing on 3 this season. Conceptual, logical, physical. Think of these like the conceptual being the idea, the logical being the blueprint, and the physical being the construction. This is the architectural pipeline that carries organizations from wild business dreams to actual working systems. One of the first people to formalize this thinking was John A. Zachman. Zachman observed that every enterprise, regardless of size or industry, answers the same 6 questions. What data it manages, how it operates, where it runs, who is involved, where things happen, and why decisions are made. Those questions became the Zachman Framework, a classification schema that organizes architectural knowledge without prescribing a specific process. The framework expressed as a 6x6 matrix, where each row represents a different stakeholder perspective. In entArch, we focus on 3 critical layers. The conceptual layer, where architects define business intent, scope, and capabilities. The logical layer, where engineers describe structure, relationships, and behavior. And the physical layer, where technicians implement real systems, platforms, and infrastructure. This progression is what turns strategy into reality. Zachman's work influenced a broader enterprise architecture movement, including the Open Group and the Open Group Architecture Framework, TOGAF, which adds governance, lifecycle management, and decision-making discipline. To support consistent modeling across teams, the Open Group introduced Archimate, a standard notation for visualizing enterprise architectures across business, application, and technology layers. To see these ideas applied, we'll explore the Essential project at enterprise-architecture.org. Essential provides reference architectures, business capability models, and a shared enterprise knowledge base. Through the Essential Viewer, architects can navigate connected views, like business strategy overviews that link strategic drivers, goals, objectives, and transformation initiatives. Enterprise architecture isn't just about documentation, it's about insight. So explore the models, interact with the views, and start thinking like an enterprise architect. Here's the headline. EA exists to create clarity, to tie strategy to execution, to keep the business from building 5 different versions of the same system at the same time. And by understanding conceptual, logical, and physical layers, we make sure that the organization's future isn't an accident, it's intentional. So, that's just the foundation. In our next episode, we start shaping that vision into something real with the conceptual layer. The layer we'll be starting at from the 6x6 matrix. I'll see you in the next one.